I saw The Many-Colored Death for the first time on June 1st, 2018. I didn't know what to expect, but by the end of their set I was completely mesmerized, and I've been drowning in their music ever since. I'm here with the Many-Colored Death at their show tonight at the Outland Bar. But first, introduce yourselves.
My name is Shay Spence. I play the drums.
I'm Preston Rogers. I play bass.
I'm Brent Moore. I drop sunglasses and play guitar.
Nope.
Well, how did the three of you meet and decide to form a band together?
With that one, Brent?
Craigslist. We mostly met through Craigslist. But I'll let him tell the whole story.
You do it. You're more important.
Close misses or whatever they're called.
Misconnections.
Misconnections. Shay, we met. Yeah, it was a Craigslist ad. Yeah, they were looking for we were looking for a drummer, and she answered that. I won't go into the full thing. I answered a Craigslist ad to two other people who were trying to start a band, and then I think I kind of took over from that point.
Basically.
Shay came in, tried out. She was great. Preston was the last to join. Actually, 9 years ago. Here recently. Yeah, was his first show with us. So I was working in a music store. He came in and wanted to try out a bass. And I plugged him in, and I knew we were kind of looking for a bassist. And he sounded great. I didn't know he was a knucklehead at the time, but asked him if he wanted to try out, and he said yes, and he came and jammed with us, and it was great. And that's kind of, we were the Many-Colored Death, I guess, at that point forward.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
not bad.
So, you guys recently just released your brand new album, Okayest. What was the songwriting process like for that album?
Hectic.
I wrote some songs, and then we practiced them, I think, is what we did. Yeah. There were a lot more. I think we had a list of 20-something, and we sort of...
Yeah, we had a large
We have a big
list of
list,
songs.
and then we sort of picked 14 or 15 to work on. Yeah. They were a little better fleshed out.
Yeah.
And then we went in the studio with those songs, and we
Laid some drum tracks down.
Yeah, we tracked drums and some bass. And then I went home and kind of finished them up on guitar and vocals, worked out all the parts and things like that.
Fixed all my bass parts.
Yeah, I played all his bass parts. I
Played all the
moved
drum
some things
parts.
around, locked everything to a grid, got us all dialed in to where we sounded like we know what we're doing. I didn't do any of that. We just recorded the songs, and I tried to make them sound as good as they could. And that was the way it went.
So, why did you guys decide to title the album Okayest?
We felt that we are just the okayest rock band in Missouri, so...
It's tongue in cheek. Yeah, we're completely self-deprecating. We're sort of like I don't know. We just like to have fun at our we just like to have fun at our own expense. And to us, like, what's more self-deprecating than to like release a brand new album that you're super proud of and call it Okayest? You know, put a trophy on it that's Okayest. So we thought it was funny, honestly. Same reason we put pictures of us eating pie on the inside with it smashed all over our faces.
Which was
So
a blast.
it was a lot of fun. So we just like to have fun. We like to I think we like to make people feel like they're also in on the joke. So that's kind of part of it.
All inclusive.
Yeah. We want everyone who's like listening or watching or whatever
We
to
don't wanna-
sort of feel like they're part of it all with us.
We don't want to make fun of other people so much as we want to make fun of ourselves more. I'm going to assume it can hear me.
That's a good assumption.
All right, whatever. Yeah.
Speaking of new things you guys have released, The Sieve. What was it like filming it?
Go ahead. You're the talker.
I'll talk. It was a blast. The Civ it's the Civ. Yes, it is. It is the Civ.
It's like a colander.
It is. It's like a sort of a strainer colander type thing.
Sieve.
That it's basically a device you use that allows very small particles to travel through, and it captures larger particles and hangs on to them. You probably did. Yeah, it's like what people used to use to like mine for gold. You have like it's kind of like that, or it's like a thing that you sift flour with that lets the powdery stuff flow through, but it catches any big pieces. Anyway, so
Sieve.
that's a sieve. Yeah. So anyhow, the video was a blast. We got a whole bunch of friends together, invited whoever wanted to come out and film this video with us to show up one day, and we had kind of an idea what we were going to do, and we had our good buddy Jay Pelzer on the camera and who did our previous video for Dummy. And he shares our sense of humor and can have like the vision for what we're looking to do, and is happy to try just about anything. So we got a whole bunch of friends together, made a silly day of it, shooting some stuff, and
a bunch of really good tacos from Boss Taco.
Boss Taco, we got tacos from them, and Preston ended up being the Taco King. Our good friend BC from Don't Mind Dying played the former Taco King, and he was the nemesis, and it turned out great. We just had fun. Basically, we had fun, and Jay put it all together, and then we put it out, and it was like a tiny movie. Yeah. Seems to have gotten good reaction too. So
Taco King. Yeah! You just saw that video.
Yeah! Taco King. You obviously haven't seen the video. That's a good answer.
Yeah. So here's that song. It's called The Civ. I hope you like it. If you know the words, sing along. If you don't, I want to watch you try to sing along. Like act like you know them. You know what you're doing. You do it in the car all the time.
Make up your own words. We don't.
So, you guys recently just turned 9 years old. What was that first show like for you guys 9 years ago?
Non-existent because I don't remember it.
I felt real nervous because it was my first show, and it was like it's at the Blue Note, so it was surprising to go from nothing to the Blue Note in Columbia. You know, it's like it's the biggest venue in Columbia. So, other than the arenas or whatever that turn into shows, but I mean, for being like a nothing musician in Rolla, Missouri, moving to Columbia. Playing in comparison, for being trash. It was fun, a lot of fun. I think I was playing on the wrong side of the stage that night, though.
Yeah, there was a while there
where I played on stage left and just felt weird. It didn't feel right.
We knew.
So then,
Yeah, we switched because because Shay plays on a cymbal that's very loud, and I couldn't take it hearing it in my left ear all night long. So now Preston can move around. I'm stuck to a mic. So if we were on a small stage, I would be right in front of her drum kit, and she would just be like wailing on that cymbal, and I couldn't take it. So, but yeah, I think that night we were like still opposite because we were on the Blue Note stage. It's huge. Didn't matter yet. We hadn't gotten to that point yet. I don't remember much about that show either, though. I mean, I'm sure it was fun. I'm sure it went great. We played with Thunder under us.
Played a lot of old songs.
Played a lot of old songs. Yeah, we were only old songs that night.
Yeah. Except for Tomahawk.
Tomahawk. Well, that is an old song.
Yeah.
It's still old.
Tomahawk is over 9 years old.
It is.
Would be technical about
Yeah,
it.
I wrote that. I wrote both. It was 2 songs that became one, and that was written when I lived in Texas. So that was 10, 12, 15 years ago. So 10, 12, 15.
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. It's old.
How has your playing and performing evolved since you first began?
I'm going to talk now, I guess. I would say personally for me, actually no, I'll say as a whole, as a unit, we've just learned to have way more fun on stage. I think when we first started out, especially when it was just Brent and I and our former lineup, which wasn't the MCD at that time, we were both very nervous. I will say this, Brent was not good with the banter. And he's evolved a lot since then. That's no shade. I'm just letting you know.
We've all gotten
Yeah,
better.
we've all gotten better at just having good stage presence and not getting so much in our head and just having fun. So that's how we've improved.
I've had to improve my playing because of these two. So if I improve, they feel like they need to improve, I feel. And it kind of goes back and forth, and we feed off of that. Need to keep up, I guess, or try to excel it. And so...
Yeah, I think a big part of us, our evolution as a band, is basically just practicing. I tell people that all the time. If someone asks me, how do you guys get so tight, or I say we practice. We practice a lot. We practice more than a lot of bands I know. And so what that does ultimately is when we get on stage, you've played the song so many times. You may flub a note here and there. You may do something that's out of character, but it's not going to shut you down in that moment because you feel so confident because you played it a million times. You just pick it up and you keep going. And I mean, just last week we played a show and there were people who've seen us plenty of times going, "Well, that was the best you've ever sounded." And I'm just thinking, man, did you see all the stuff I messed up? But if you don't let it, that's the thing. We would have, in the past been like, but we just got to the point where we practice so much that the songs just kind of come out of you when you're playing live. You can really enjoy the experience. You can have more fun on stage. You can feel more relaxed because you already know it. You know what you're doing. It's just like anything. Once you practice enough, you're not all scared when you're doing it. You're not frightened.
Feel motivated.
You're not a frightened little child on the stage anymore, right?
Basically, if you practice enough to the point where you can think about your grocery list while you're playing a show, like I do, then you've practiced enough. So there's your advice. Kids, there you go.
All right, practice. So, 9 years is a long time to be together as a band. What was the biggest challenge you faced, and how did you overcome it?
Okay. Preston Gillespie Rogers was the biggest challenge we had to overcome because he would go to where he's from, his hometown, the big metropolis of Rolla, Missouri. And we'd have practice scheduled, and we've been having practice scheduled consistently for all 9 years. And he wouldn't show up. It would be Brent and I. He'd just show up, or we would just show up, and then we'd wait on Preston, and we'd be waiting and waiting and waiting, and then we'd call Preston, and he'd be like, "I'm in Rolla. Sorry."
So, for what it's worth, though, I was in Rolla.
Nothing.
I was in Rolla doing important things. It wasn't just going to Rolla to see friends and hang out.
This is like an episode of Maury. I feel like that's about to happen.
So when you need to go to Rolla to do important things, what you do is you notify the people who are relying on you to be at practice that you're going to Rolla to do important things, so then they don't clear their schedules to have practice that you're supposed to be at. It's just little things like that. It's just like communication. That's a big thing that we've worked on a lot is communication. We're better now.
Yeah.
We're better now. He always either shows up or tells us what's happening and why he's not there.
Long time coming.
It was. It's good. It's good. We've grown in that way. That's probably, I don't know. Is that the biggest challenge?
That's really the biggest challenge.
The biggest challenge.
Like a year-long challenge, and then it was over.
It was. It was like a year and a half, I would say. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't to you, but it was to us.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's always forever the new guy.
It was early.
Forever the
It was
new guy.
early on then.
It was. We're young and dumb, and we're okay with that. It's just okay. It's part of growing up.
Okay.
You're little Preston.
So touching. It was great.
Okay, if you go to Rolla, problems will arise. So why did you guys call your band the Many Colored Death?
These are all like really good Brent questions because I don't know how to tell the story. I never know. But
Brent knows all the details.
yeah, take it, Brent. Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead.
Just hold.
It's a character in the Never-Ending Story. I had read the book and saw it, and I thought, oh, that's cool. I'll keep that around. I had like a list of all these names that I thought would be cool for band, and I had it in there. Our original name was Strong as Fears, which when you write out, looks like Strong Ass Fears with a PH. So it doesn't work out so well. I think we were that for just a couple of things, and then for 2 seconds, and then we decided we needed something. It has the qualities that are extremely important to band names. One of which is if you Google it, you're going to find us. You're not going to find another band. You're going to find us, and you're going to find the character from the book. But most importantly, you're going to find us. I mean, that's just if you put the Many Colored Death in, it's us. So there's not another band called that, which is that good or bad? I don't know. It's good for us. Maybe they didn't pick it because it's an awful name, but whatever. It's our name now. The second thing is you can abbreviate it. So the MCD, that's an easy way to say it. Now, granted, you put that on a sticker, nobody knows what it is. You can't Google that. Yeah, because it's the McDonald's ticker symbol on stock market. So, anyways, they're successful. They're doing all right. So, yeah, those are the two things. We just decided, like, hey, let's go with that. Now, everyone thinks we're a metal band until they hear us. I always try to say, like, well, Death Cab for Cutie, they don't, they're not a metal band. But, whatever. You just have to hear us, and then you go, oh, okay, cool, Anyways, it works out because we're the only band called the Many Colored Death.
Let's get sentimental. What is your favorite memory as a band?
It's a double-edged sword. My favorite and least favorite memory is of the time where we drove to Arizona, played one show.
Played 3 shows in 2 days.
We played 3 shows in 2 days, so we drove like 48 hours. Total.
Total. 20 hours there.
And then so right as we were driving into Kansas, literally the middle of nowhere in Kansas, all of a sudden the spark plug in Brent's van just like shot out of whatever it is. Yeah, whatever. I don't do cars, whatever. So this thing shoots out underneath the hood and it's like rattling and rattling and rattling. So long story short, we get stuck on the side of the road on a Sunday where there's like no tow trucks to be found, and we're 30 miles away from Dodge City, Kansas, which is the armpit of America, and I don't care if you're from there, you need to do better because that town is terrible. It's awful. We stayed in this like Western-themed hotel that was very old and creaky and gross. They did have a pool, which was kind of cool, but...
I'll send pictures.
Yeah, we have pictures. We have plenty of pictures. So that was my favorite and least favorite because it's like those moments like make you a band, I feel like. When you have car trouble, that's when you're like officially... a band.
I just got a ticket right before that happened.
Yeah, he did get a speeding ticket right before.
And then that happened.
It was pretty hilarious, actually. So yeah.
The end of the Silver Odyssey.
Yeah.
The first time that we got to travel to Texas, like one of our first shows in 2010, 2011.
Oh,
Yeah,
we went
the very
down to Fort
first time we went
Worth.
down
Yeah,
to Dallas
yeah.
Fort Worth area. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, just the first like long distance travel we ever did. Big venue. Yeah, they had our name up on the back, which is like that's always cool when you see your name up in lights or whatever it is. I don't know. It was just that's a good memory. Like the first 12-hour trip, we listened to a bunch of really good music, things I've never heard before, thanks to Papa B over here. So, yeah, I always hold that one as a pretty good memory.
Cool. I have two. The first one was recent. That was when we sold out Rose Music Hall. That was like I never thought that would happen, but we did it, and that was amazing. Yeah, no, it was just that was amazing. That was just like it all kind of happening in a really cool way. The other one was when we put out Our Own Devices 2 albums ago. My wife was in labor at the show. So we're playing a show. She's out in the crowd having like Braxton Hicks and knowing that she's close. We get done. I get home at 2 a.m. and she goes, "All right, just be ready because I think tonight's the night." And sure enough, our son was born the next morning. And I like to think that I rocked him out. Some people rock in a chair. We rock on a stage. And then the baby falls out.
That's how it happens. So what's next for you guys? Can we expect anything new from you anytime soon?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think right now, since we just put our album out in May, we're going to focus a lot on touring. We're going to focus a lot on playing shows in places we haven't gone before, doing a lot more traveling, a lot more eating of food that we haven't tried yet. So we're super stoked about that.
Come on, Food Network.
Yeah, Food Network. If you're watching this out there, contact us. #foodband, themcdrocks@gmail.com. Please let us know if you'd like us to do a show because we'd like to do a show for you. So.
Nothing?
You said it. We do have some more music waiting in the wings. I'd say, what? A lot. So it's the music that you hear on Okayest comes from a while ago also. So it's a process. These things get made, they get perfected to our standards, and then we record them, but it's years later after we first had the idea. So it's neat to see things 4+ years ago come to fruition finally. That being said, a lot of songs are waiting, and I don't think we're going to stop until at least those are out. So, new music.
We got that concept album that's been on the back burner for 5-6 years, something like that. So that'll be a minute. But yeah, I think ditto what you guys said. Touring. Yeah, we're hoping to do some touring either late this year, early next year. I think we're going to do our best to get back down to South by Southwest next spring. So we'll play our way down to Austin and back up, and then yeah, I hope the future seems bright right now. So we're excited. Tonight we're going to play at the Outland, and we're super stoked about that. And yeah, that's it.
Let's talk about Tomahawk. Let's do that. What in particular made you guys want to play that song last? What made it so iconic?
Do
you want the mic?
Yeah. It's one of those songs where I feel, first and foremost, if we play it first, we will get way too tired for the rest of the set. It's like it's like trying to do your max first when you exercise, and you can't do your maximum effort in the beginning because you won't be able to make any gains after that. So, also, you're holding this.
Here.
Whatever.
When training, never max at the beginning. Always max at the end. When you're completely tired, you always want to max at the end when you have no energy left. No, so we used to play that song first sometimes, and we learned that when you play a 7.5-minute song to start a set, sometimes people might check out. You want to build them up to that at the end. And so since, it's been a few years we've been playing that song with a jam at the end. So it's sort of like our fun song. It's our biggest, longest song. It's kind of epic. Again, it was 2 songs when it was originally written. There wasn't even 2 songs, like 2 ideas. And when the second one was written, I thought, wait a minute, we can add this whole other thing and completely shift gears on it. So it's a fun song. It's super high energy. It's got this sort of heavy, sludgy riff, and then it goes into this sort of galloping, exciting thing that people aren't expecting it, that haven't seen it before. You can just see them be like, oh, they went into that thing. Oh, whoa, what is happening? We get to do like weird, it's got a weird instrumental part. It's got a lot of like MCD things in it. And then again, at the end, we get to just jam out. That's like, as long as we have time, we can jam out the end and have a good time with it. And so at the end of a set, when you want to just leave it all out there, you want to make sure that you finish strong. That's the oldest song we play. We play it every time. It's always at the end. Rat's a second. But that's the oldest one we play because, like, again, we know it so well. We played it so many times. Even when you're exhausted, you can just rip that song and know that, like, the excitement of playing it is going to get you through. Because it's just fun. Like, it gets you so pumped up, even on stage playing it, that we love to do it. And I think that's sort of infectious when people see us up there thrashing around and doing all that stuff. It's a good way to close out the set. Yeah.
one more for you guys. Which cereal leaves the best flavored milk?
Y'all already know, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Ditto. A close second. You got to go with them Cocoa Krispies.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can see that. Okay. Well, thank you guys for taking the time to let me interview you. Whenever you get the chance, be sure to check out the Many Color Death.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the Many Color Death. If you need me, you can catch me on the front row. Bye!